SQL interview question and answer. Question number 11. What do you mean by composite primary key in a table in SQL? This question is asking about definition of composite primary key, how to create composite primary key in a table, and where do we use it. In previous question, question 10, we have explained about primary key. In this question, we are going to explain composite primary key. As we know, a table can accept only one primary key, and the primary key can be formed by using single column or combination of multiple columns. When a primary key is formed by combination of multiple columns, then it is called composite key or composite primary key. These columns are used to identify all the rows uniquely. When a single column cannot identify rows uniquely, then composite primary key comes into play. So, the composite primary key uniquely identifies the rows and cannot accept null value. To explain this question, following 4 steps I am going to explain. In the first step, creating a table with composite primary key. That means I am going to create a table with composite primary key. That means primary key that takes multiple columns. In second step, inserting data into the table. Third step, I am going to check whether it can accept null value or not. And fourth step, I am going to insert duplicate record into the table and identify whether it can accept duplicate records or not. Let me go through first step, creating a table with composite primary key. That means primary key that can take multiple columns. Let me apply a composite primary key with an example. A student can enroll more than one course, and more than one student can take a same subject. To identify which students enroll in which subject, we can use composite primary key. Let me create a table with composite primary key. We start with create statement, create table, table name, course underscore enroll. Inside parentheses, we have to provide column name with data type. And we mention here primary key is combination of student ID and course ID. That's why primary key is composite primary key. When we run this code, it will create a table name course underscore enroll. We can check whether it can create table or not by using select star from course underscore enroll. When we run this code, then we will observe a blank table with column name. Next step, we can check characteristics or properties of column by using describe statement. In short form, we can use DESC, table name. It will display result as shown below, where result contains 3 columns. First one is name, second one null. It is asking whether it can accept null or not. And third one data type. From this result, it is clear that student ID and course ID, these 2 columns cannot accept null value. Step 2. Inserting data into table. In this step, I am going to insert 3 rows into the table. To insert data into table, we start with insert statement. Insert into table, course underscore enroll. Inside parentheses, we have to provide column name with values, and those values are corresponding to column name. First value corresponds to student ID, second value corresponds to course ID, third value corresponds to building, and fourth value corresponds to enroll date. When we run these three insert statement, then it will insert three rows into the table. Now we can check whether data inserted into the table or not. We can use select star from course underscore enrolled code. When we run this code, we will observe three rows which are inserted into the table. Let me go through step 3. Let me try to insert null value. Insert into table name. In place of student ID, I am going to insert null. When we run this code, then it will display error. Error says that we cannot insert null value into student ID because student ID is one of the column which is used for the composite primary key. That's why we cannot add null value. Let me go through step 4. Let me try to include or insert duplicate records. In this record, I am going to insert one record which I have already inserted into the table, which is row number 3. When I try to run this code, then it will display error. Error says that unique constraint violated. That means it cannot accept duplicate record. If we run this 4 set of code in our Oracle developer window, then we will get exactly same result. Let me go through Oracle developer window and run this 4 set of code and observe the result. It is Oracle developer window. It has 4 set of code. First one, table creation with composite primary key. Second, inserting data into the table. Third one, checking null value. Fourth one, checking duplicate record into the table. First step, it creates a table with composite primary key. It starts with create statement, create table, table name, column name with data type, and primary key is the combination of student ID and course ID. Let me run this code and observe the result. Result says table course underscore enrolled created. Let me check that table. It displays blank table with column name. Columns are student ID, course ID, building, enroll date. Let me check properties of those columns by using describe statement. In short form, we can use DESC, table name. It displays result as shown below. It has 3 columns. Name, it is asking does it accept null value or not, and what type of the data we can include. From this result, it is clear that 2 columns, student ID and course ID, they do not accept null value. Next step, inserting data into the table. I am going to insert 3 rows. To insert the data, we start with insert statement, insert into table name, inside parentheses we use column name. In place of value, we use values corresponding to column name. First value corresponds to student ID, second value course ID, third value building, and fourth value enroll date. Let me run this code and observe the result. It says here 3 rows inserted. Let me check data by using select star from table name. It shows here a table which contains 4 columns and 3 rows. Student ID, it has 1001 and 1002. Course ID, it has 340 and 345. Next, step 3. In this step, I am trying to insert null value to one of this column which is used for the composite primary key. Let me run this one. Suppose this is the null value here, null. Let me, that course is here, Einstein. I'm using here 345, suppose. Let me try to insert null value. It says here cannot insert null into student ID, because we know student ID cannot accept null value because it is use one of the column for composite primary key. That's why it cannot accept null value. Fourth step, let me try to insert duplicate record. I am trying to insert same record which I have already inserted into the table, which is row number 3. Let me try to insert into it and observe the result. It throws error and it says unique constraint violated. That means those columns can accept only unique record, but it cannot accept duplicated record. In this way, we can explain what is composite primary key, how to create it, and where can we use it. That's all about question number 11. Thank you.